Howdy again, folks. This is issue 21 of Edge magazine, released in June 1995, and we're looking at the second part. We're now at the review section. So, what does Edge have to say? Just mentioning some of the names. Well, here's a biggie. Tekken getting 5 pages of review. Now, this is, of course, only description of the fighters, but still, very long review for such a game. And Edge gives it a 9, like everybody else, and I still don't get why. At the time, I thought it was... Well, first of all, I thought it was an ugly fighting game. I had already seen Virtua Fighter, and... Okay, and then there was Tekken, but there was also Virtua Fighter. I don't know which one I saw first, but I was never impressed. And when it came out for the PlayStation, I thought Battle Arena Toshinden looked better. Not so much the technical parts, because yeah, you could tell the polygons are done well, but just the design of the characters, they were so ugly. I mean, here's Nina Williams. That's not something I like looking at. And that's like the better looking version. The intro movies, they just looked horrible. And what was... Yeah, you could play Galaga while waiting, I guess. That was probably the best part. Edge magazine mentions that Tekken had better animation than Virtua Fighter, and I do not agree at all. No, I think Tekken has a very, especially the first 3 games. No, up until about Tekken 4 or 5, I've always found the animations look very canned and stiff. So, gameplay-wise, it was stiff and slow. I mean, I always preferred 2D fighting games, but this game was even worse than Virtua Fighter. So this made me want to play Virtua Fighter 2 all the time whenever somebody said, come on, let's play some Tekken. And yeah, I had a hard time figuring out why people like this game, and I still don't get it. And when you look back at it, I think I'm right. If you play this game now, it plays horribly. So yeah, Tekken 1 getting a 9. Selling very well. I mean, I liked Tekken 4, and then with Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I thought the series was on par with Virtua Fighter and Soul Calibur, but it's for a long time it's been my least favorite fighting series. Okay, Daytona USA with some handy maps, and this is the Saturn version, which doesn't have quite the frame rate nor the looks. And the steering feels a little bit off, but I think they did pretty well in that regard. And Edge gives it an 8 out of 10. This is my favorite track. I think it's most people's favorite track, the dinosaur one. With this turn, I always have a hard time with for some reason, near the end. And this one I've never been able to master, the advanced course. So, yeah, the Saturn version, not perfect. They would remake it again for the Saturn, and it would be even worse because of very funny controls. Whoa, stay here. Top 100 games of the future. Is this a magazine? Ultimate Future Games? I don't know. Hey, Bioforge. I've never played this game. But according to this review, it's a lot like Alone in the Dark, but then on a spaceship. You play this funny looking character, at least this one I mean. And yeah, the backgrounds are pre-rendered, and all the characters are done pretty well in 3D. The story's not bad from what I hear. And Edge gives it ultimately a 7. Could I get a bit sharper image? Thanks. So, Bioforge, released in 1995 by EA. I think by Looking Glass Studios, the same people who made System Shock. Okay, Gex, the platformer for 3DO. people tried to shoehorn Gex as the mascot of 3DO, which of course didn't work. He was very wisecracking, had a lot of references to American pop culture. But yeah, it wasn't that special, and Edge gives it a 6. The retro review is Gunsmoke. I think they spelled it wrong. Wasn't there with a period? Maybe the arcade game has a different way of typing it. But yeah, this is actually this was the first video game I've ever played, at least the Nintendo Entertainment System version, way back in '86, I believe. So maybe '88. And yeah, I had to do a lot of catching up afterward because there were so many great games made before 1988. But that's another discussion. Yeah, it's a very cute, easy shoot 'em up as a cowboy. Not that spectacular, but it does what it has to do for a side-scrolling shooter. I wonder if the 8-bit Nintendo version is the same as the arcade version. Might have a couple extra levels, like Contra does. So I'm sorry for the glare again. I'm at home and I don't recall the glare being that bad. So Killer Instinct. Okay, so let's see if this looks better. What if I put the magazine like this? Yeah. Okay, so Miyamoto being interviewed by Edge doesn't have that many interesting things to say. If you know him, you'll probably guess most of his answers. Most interesting thing he has to say, I believe, was that he mentioned how there wasn't a big difference between 32-bit and 64-bit technology. Well, guess what? The Nintendo 64 wasn't that much stronger than the Sony PlayStation. So that could be foreboding to some things. We see some cute drawings of Donkey Kong and Mario. And he says that he doesn't play that many games. He mostly likes Tetris. They ask him what he thinks of Sonic, and he says, well, he's well designed, and yeah, he's close to what Mario does. That's all Miyamoto has to say. He also likes the facial expressions of Earthworm Jim. So yeah, and yeah, his career, he went to Nintendo because of his creative drive not to make video games. At the time, they didn't make that many. Okay, let's finish up this magazine. Some more commercials. And the Q&A is only one page this time. And again, dull questions. I can't remember any of them. So this might be the last Q&A in Edge, and I hope that's the case because I'm getting tired of all these questions like, why doesn't the Doom, why does it work better on the Jaguar than the 32X? If the 32X can handle more polygons, then you get answers like, well, you know, that's just a number how well polygons are done. There's a lot more going on in the computer. So, next month, oh, this will be special, will be a feature on the M2. Yeah, Edge just won't give up on this technology. So, Thursday, 25th of May, 16, and there'll also be a supplement apparently for the Jaguar, but I don't have that, so you have to find somebody else to view that for you. Edge magazine being melted away here. And that's it for issue 21. The background completely black, like the old issues used to have. And that's it for June 1995. See you next time in July.